Thanks for joining us on Nationwide. I am Minna Daniels. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has fixed Saturday, 16th of August 2025 for by-elections in 16 constituencies across 12 states of the Federation. In a notice issued this Sunday, 10th of August 2025, INEC says the affected states are Anambra, Edo, Jigawa, Kaduna, Ogun, Adamawa, Kogi, Kano, Oyo, Zamfara, Niger, and Taraba. The Commission says it will deploy 30,451 officials. However, in spite of the declaration of vacancies, by-elections will not hold in 2 state constituencies for the time being. And these are Kana 2 state constituency in Rivers State as a result of a current state of emergency, and Talata Mafara South State constituency in Zamfara State, following a legal challenge to the declaration of a vacant seat by the State Assembly. The aviation unions in Nigeria have announced the suspension of their planned nationwide strike, which was set to begin August 11, 2025. The unions, comprising the National Union of Air Transport Employees and all other aviation employees, issued a joint statement deferring the strike action. The union cited positive developments following interventions by the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, and other senior officials. The Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, tweeted on his verified handle, confirming the suspension of the planned strike, which was as a result of his intervention, given a long relationship with labor unions. The minister promises to continue to work with other comrades to find lasting solutions to issues that have been pending in the sector long before he came to office, and by showing absolute good faith, the issues will be resolved one by one. The Federal Ministry of Environment, in partnership with Refabricate Africa, has unveiled an initiative known as Cloth Bank. The project, launched in Abuja, aims to reduce the emission of toxic gases generated by textile waste. Charles Alpha reports.
Textiles in landfills and dump sites, most times when burnt, are believed to contain certain gas element that is released into the atmosphere, impacting health and the environment. But from the usual practice of buying, using and dumping to a more purposeful approach, the Federal Ministry of Environment and Fabricate Africa are creating an avenue for recycling textile waste into a more sustainable venture, particularly for those who need them.
They are harmful to both human health and the environment. So having this program will really set the pace for circular economy, because we are reusing and we are recycling.
We send to people who are already in our community, who are upcyclers. They reform these clothes and then send back to Grace Smile Foundation. Now, Grace Smile Foundation ensure that, mothers who are to give birth shortly have access to good clothes.
We hope to empower them through this, because when we collect the waste, we're not just collecting it just to keep, we're collecting them to transform them into reusable items, and we need people to, carry that out. So we intend to train women, youth, to be able to do this upcycling. It's not a common thing like that in Nigeria.
Program Director Tomishe Johnson believes the Cloth Bank marks a significant step in Nigeria's fight against climate change and waste pollution, as it aligns with its circular economic drive and environmental sustainability goals, creating economic opportunities for women and youth.
Just imagine if you go to the landfill, over 5% of landfill materials are textile materials. So you see that it's affecting the earth already. At Refab Africa, we are solving that problem in collaboration with Ministry of Environment and with other NGOs.
The Cloth Bank will be domiciled with the Ministry of Environment for collection of textile waste, with plans to expand to other parts of the country. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has inaugurated 2 committees to address issues on change in land title documents and other contraventions distorting the city master plan. Onoze Yakubu reports that the committees have 2 weeks to submit their reports.
Disturbed by the worrisome trend of change in land title documents and other contraventions, informed the setting up of these committees. The mandate is to streamline and regulate the activities and services of the Federal Capital Territory Administration as it relates to land issues. A case in hand is the River Park Estate in Abuja.
Sometimes government will give out letters of intent to those who say they want to develop mass housing. And government will always have an agreement, or what you may call memorandum of understanding. We'll find out in most cases these clauses or these agreements are being violated. And so this committee is to look into the issues that have to do with River Park Estate and advise the government the necessary step to take in order to correct some of these anomalies.
FCT Minister Esenwike warns the committee members against bias in the course of discharging their responsibilities.
And let me warn that must be done professionally. I don't want to hear any issue of influence from outside. If I hear that somebody has interest, be it from outside or be it from the FCT, or particularly AGs and Land Administration Department, you know the consequences of it.
The committee, chaired by the Director of the Development Control Department, Mukhtar Galadima, and General Counsel Legal Services Secretariat, Salman Daku, have 2 weeks to submit their reports. The minister, however, promised to implement the recommendations of the committees. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Governor Biodun Oyebanji has launched today Uleye Agro Trading and Aggregation Hub and Onje Ekiti retail outlets in Ado Ekiti, describing the initiative as a strategic intervention aimed at improving access to affordable and quality food items for residents of the state. Tayo Osho tells us more.
The governor explained that the initiative is meant to boost food security and cushion the effects of high food prices, noted that it aligns with his administration's vision to address food crisis through sustainable agricultural development, adding that over 4,000 hectares of farmland have been cleared across the state for food production and also to empower local farmers. He explained that the Ileye hub will serve as a central aggregation point for food commodities sourced directly from Ekiti farmers, thereby reducing supply chain inefficiencies and eliminating the influence of middlemen. He assured that the mechanisms have been put in place to prevent hoarding and diversion of food items, stressing that transparency and accountability will be upheld to ensure the program delivers on its objectives.
This level of aggregation is a testament to the productive capacity of our farmers when supported with the right policies, infrastructure, and market assurance. It also marks a significant milestone in our efforts to reduce post-harvest losses and reposition agriculture as a viable economic pillar for the states.
The Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security, Ebenezer Buluwade, assured that government is committed to selling food items to the public at affordable prices. In Ado Ekiti, Tayo Osho, NTA News.
Bauchi State is enhancing its water resources management system to mitigate flooding, with Governor Bala Mohammed forging an agreement with the Hadejia Jamal River Basin Development Authority. The partnership is part of the 90 billion naira earmarked for various developmental projects under the renewed help agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Awal Abdullahi reports.
Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed and management of the Hadejia Jama'are River Basin Development Authority under its managing director, Rabiu Suleiman Bichi, centered on mitigation strategies for the flood risk and economic stability of the flood-prone areas.
Captain Zaki Dam, we are looking forward to If you can develop 2,500 hectares of irrigatable land, I think you can feed the whole of Northeast. Right now, we are partnering with the federal government through NACENI to provide 50,000 hectares. In Odubo, we gave a farmer 10,000 hectares, and he's doing irrigation. It has become an economic nucleus.
This partnership, according to the River Basin Development Authority, is the federal government's target for sustainable development and effective governance.
Our initiatives integrate modern technology and community engagement to maximize impact, particularly in empowering youth and women. Among our key interventions that will engender all-round year farming are greenhouse farming, which is an innovative approach to high-value crop cultivation, ensuring increased yield, minimize post-harvest losses, and job creation.
This partnership is expected to provide a comprehensive flood control measures to prevent damage of natural resources, homes and farmlands, among others. In Bauchi, Awal Abdullahi, NTA News.
Enugu Network Center is our first port of call on Nationwide today, and Chika Okore is standing by. Hello, Chika. It's over to you.
And welcome to Enugu. Human activities significantly contribute to flooding through various actions that alter national water system and increase runoff. As Nigeria's flood case becomes worrisome, experts advise that both the government and the citizens must be intentional in their flood prevention approaches to stem the tide. Susan Eze has the reports.
Nigeria experiences frequent flooding, particularly during rainy season. Since 2012, when the nation had her worst-case scenario, many communities have continued to experience floodings over the years, with the attendant lamentations. Apart from natural factors worsened by global climate change, either by commission or omission, some human factors, according to experts, significantly worsen flooding in Nigeria. Key among these factors, they say, include non-compliance to urban planning guidelines, evident in the haphazard building practices in most urban centers and rural areas. Buildings, floodplains, obstruct natural drainage paths. Other factors include lack of or improper drainage systems or poorly maintained ones. Also, lack of effective waste management systems exacerbates the problem of flooding, just as deforestation and land degradation.
We started radio dreamers sensitization programs. Most buildings that are built on the waterways, whether by license or not licensed, there may be some measure that we take in to make sure that water flows well to avoid loss of lives, property, and economy.
To mitigate the impact of human factors causing floods in Nigeria, experts advise a multi-pronged approach, such as better urban planning and infrastructure, improved waste management system, enforcement of building regulations, and intensified public awareness campaign. Structural measures like flood control systems and reforestation efforts in critical areas, stakeholders say, are also crucial in controlling incessant floods in Nigeria. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
The All Progressives Congress APC has risen from an expanded stakeholders meeting in Enugu with a resolve to strengthen grassroots mobilization to win elections in 2027. Chimaroke Ugu is our guide.
APC expanded stakeholders meeting in Enugu was convened to address several pressing issues within the party, encourage party faithfuls to remain committed to the party's ideologies and principles, the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, addressing members, the leader of the party in the state and Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji, urged them to remain resolute in the task of connecting Enugu State to the center of governance to attract more dividends of democracy.
Thank God today that this party have grown to become the best party and the biggest party in Enugu State. APC have come to stay. That is why from every nook and cranny, everybody wants to join APC. And like we said earlier, we want people to come in.
The chairman and other stakeholders of APC in Enugu noted that APC has grown to become the biggest party in the state, ready to bring the desired change the people are yearning for.
Our harmonious relationship is what we want to see in the local government and the wards.
For APC of today, the APC of renewed hope. To whom much is given, what is expected.
New members were welcomed into the party, while APC Enugu State Women Wing was inaugurated with a charge to embark on door-to-door mobilization to populate the party. In Enugu, Chimaroke Ugu, NTA News.
That's a package from Enugu Network Center. Time now to pause for a quick break, and after which Nationwide continues with charts in Makurdi.
Heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodimma's leadership has turned manifestos into reality. OA.
You could stay. A warm welcome to Makurdi. As the water level continues to rise with intense rain, the Executive Secretary, State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, James Yopu, has appealed to Benue residents living in flood-prone areas to have a rethink and yield to government advice and relocate to higher ground to forestall a recurrence of flood disaster. He gave the charge during the interface with the media on activities of SEMA at the boss headquarters in Makurdi. Moses Ajau Ode reports.
The forecast by the Nigerian Hydrological Service Agency indicates a high rainfall over a 5-day period that may trigger flooding across 19 states, including Benue. This has triggered the warning by the National Flood Early Warning System Center of the Federal Ministry of Environment, calling on stakeholders and residents to take urgent precautionary measures. In Benue State, residents living along flood-prone areas have remained adamant as they appeal for alternate accommodation.
I don't get money, I'll still go rent another place. Like here, the rent is at least okay to afford it. But like places like High Level, International Market, all these high places, the rent is still high.
I get 9 children. Time of the water. But money not the food man with the ugly before the sub with family. That is why we no fit come out.
According to the Executive Secretary, State Emergency Management Agency, Benue State, occurrence of natural disasters like flood have become a recurring decimal in the state, affecting lives and livelihood.
We are very sure that the government will empower us to take care of those who are going to be displaced on account of flood. But we are using this platform again to appeal to Benue people to vacate.
He hinted that the agency is reviewing the situation in Yerwata and is willing to let the IDPs return to their ancestral homes if given the necessary security clearance. In Makurdi, Moses Ajau Udi, NTA News.
More actionable strategies are being forged by relevant authorities to combat human trafficking and other related matters in order to curtail the menace of Benue State. Charles Abba, in this report, indicates that the state no longer leads in its prevalence. Recently, the manager of flight terminals rescued some Benue teenage girls from an alleged trafficker in Lagos.
They were stranded in the park. He called them, he asked them how they're there. Then they explained that it's one guy that took them to Lagos, that he found work for them. So he sent them to market terminals with call on director. The other said we should hand them to that team.
I'm looking forward to having them bring them back to Benue so that we can carry on more investigation and know what it's all about.
Record from National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons and Other Related Matters, NAPTIP, reveals that Benue State ranks as the epicenter of human trafficking between 2021 and 2022.
Benue was the highest actually in those years. But, and the reports show that Benue is now second. Kano has gone up.
The record further adds that 1.6 million Nigerians are living in this modern slavery of sexual exploitation, forced prostitution, forced labor, child labor and abuse, organ harvesting, internet fraud, and the likes. These two brothers who engage in the repair of bicycles are aged between 14 and 12, and they affirm that the process is strenuous. What are the factors responsible for the prevalence of this menace?
The reason is that the poverty is too common in the town. Some man, not with their own children, it's other people's children that they can do like that. They carry other people's children from the village or from anywhere, say they want to help their parents. And when they brought the children to their house, they used to use them to do business for them.
The work embarked on by officials of NAPTIP and other stakeholders along the streets of Makurdi recently was targeted at creating awareness on dangers of human trafficking.
We wanted a station where we all come together and begin to ask ourselves, what do we do in our various institutions to stop this menace in Benue State?
It is hoped that with the intensive fight against the practice by concerned bodies, the narrative will definitely change. Charles Abba, NTA News. And that report concludes our contribution from Makurdi. Nationwide continues in Abuja with Mina.
Thank you, Charles. President Bola Tinubu congratulates Prince Adeniyi Oyemade, former Lagos State Commissioner for Commerce and Industry and two-time member of the Lagos State House of Assembly, on his 70th birthday. An accomplished businessman and public servant from Ogun State, Prince Oyemade dedicatedly represented the Ikeja constituency 1 in Lagos State. During his legislative tenure, he served as chairman of key committees, including budget and appropriations and education. He also contributed significantly as a member of the Finance, Public Accounts, Sports, and Social Development and Mineral Resources Committees. President Tinubu thanks him for being a role model and wishes him the very best as he attains this milestone. 167 trainees of the NAOA Institute of Management and Technology have graduated from Information and Communication Technology ICT and Fashion Design and Tailoring programs of the Institute, with NAOA calling it another milestone in its youth empowerment drive, as it promises to keep equipping youths with the necessary skills to become entrepreneurs and not job seekers. Olajide Bello reports.
Well, I learned the basic knowledge of computer, but I also plan on forwarding my studies like advanced tech in the tech world.
Anita Augustine is one of the beneficiaries of the Nigerian Army Institute of Management and Technology gesture of catching them young and impacting them with tech skills to make the youth more relevant in the constantly evolving tech world. She is not left out in the training put together by the Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association to reposition the minds of youth towards embracing the reality of ICT in earning a just living.
They just provided us with all the equipment that we needed to carry out the necessary tasks, and the knowledge was impacted as it's meant to be.
The Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association, our Youth Empowerment Project, serves as a model for national development and a bold visionary initiative that equips young Nigerians with market-ready skills.
Since its inception, this project has empowered hundreds of young Nigerians, particularly within our borders communities, with relevant skills, renewed confidence, and a clear sense of purpose. It has given our youths the tool to become self-reliant, productive citizens, and positive contributors to society.
The skills you have acquired in coding, digital marketing, cybersecurity, or software development position you as key players in Nigeria's growing tech ecosystem.
The take-home is a strategic partnership that empowers the next generation not just with weapons, but with knowledge, creativity, and the tools for a lasting progress, resilience, opportunity, and a shared vision for a stronger Nigeria. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
After months of being on the run, the founder and general overseer of the Turn of Mercy Church has been arrested by the NDLEA operatives for allegedly masterminding multiple shipments of illicit drugs into Nigeria. Sawa Khalil Ibrahim reports on the agency's raid that recovered opioids in Nasarawa, Kano, Gombe, and Edo states.
The man of God was arrested at his church located in Lekki area of Lagos by NDLEA officers who waited for him to conclude the usual Sunday service before moving in on him. The arrest came after he had evaded arrest twice. Operatives began trailing him following the seizure of 2 shipments of Ghanaian loud, a strain of cannabis linked to him. In another operation in Lagos, NDLEA operatives raided an apartment in Ikoyi where they arrested the suspect and recovered 32 pouches of Canadian loud, a strain of cannabis with a total weight of 15.63 kilograms. In Nasarawa State, NDLEA operatives recovered a large consignment of skunk, a strain of cannabis weighing 3.093 kilograms from 3 suspects. In another interdiction operation in Kano, 20,000 pills of tramadol and 200 ampoules of diazepam injection were recovered from a suspect at Gadan Tamburawa along Zaria, Kano Road. Similarly, a raid of an uncompleted building located at Sudonwadam Pantami in Gombe town led to the recovery of 550,266 pills of opioids, mainly tramadol, while a suspect was arrested. And in Edo State, a white Toyota Hiace bus coming from Onitsha, Anambra, and heading to Kogi was intercepted at Iwu Junction, Edo, by NDLEA operatives, who after a search recovered 22,940 capsules of tramadol, 1,100 tablets of same opioid, and 400 ampoules of pentazocine injection, with a suspect arrested. In Abuja, Sawa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
The Nigerian Forest Security Service says it will continue to strengthen its synergy with other security agencies in safeguarding Nigerian forests, wildlife, and tackling emerging security issues bedeviling the country. Assistant Controller General of the Service, North Central, Rahim Ibrahim, reaffirmed this during the zonal passing out parade of new intakes in Makurdi. Blessing Omeche Ebute has details.
Banditry, kidnapping, illegal logging have been on the increase in recent times. These criminal activities are mostly undertaken in the forests, which have become a safe haven for these criminals. The passage of the Nigerian Forest Security Service Establishment Bill by the House of Representatives and the Senate, therefore, is the right step in the right direction. The passing out parade of over 250 new intakes into the security service will not only improve the quality and performance of the security outfit, but ensure the protection of lives and property in ungoverned areas. Assistant Commandant General, NFSS, North Central, Abdullahim Ibrahim, charged the new intakes to be of good moral standing and promptly respond to security threats in their domain.
The mandate of this organization is to make sure it secures and protects forest crimes. So, which Benue state is a Nigerian state. So this organization is ready and always ready to secure and protect Benue state from every form of forest crimes.
He emphasized the need for local intelligence gathering for enhanced operations in the fight against insecurity in the nation's forests. In Makurdi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force has emphasized the strategic importance of Kebbi State in Nigeria's security architecture as it shares borders with the republics of Benue and Niger and has vast rural terrains which demand heightened security vigilance. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, made this known when on an operational visit to Kebbi State. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports that the Air Chief also visited Governor Mohammed Nasir Idris and members of the Kebbi State Executive Council.
Statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ehime Ejodame, indicates that he reaffirmed that protecting the lives and property of Nigerians remains a non-negotiable priority for the Nigerian Air Force, with a clear commitment to locate and root out all criminal elements threatening the peace and safety of law-abiding citizens. Air Marshal Abubakar commended the readiness of troops and effectiveness of security infrastructure in the state, adding that intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance operations will be intensified as NAV platforms are well positioned and capable of reaching every part of the state swiftly. The Governor of Kebbi State, Mohammed Nasir Idris, expressed profound appreciation to the Nigerian Air Force and other security agencies for their tireless commitment to safeguarding lives and property across the state. He noted that despite emerging threats and the complex security environment in the northwest, Kebbi has remained largely peaceful, an achievement he attributed to the vigilance and sacrifices of the nation's security forces. The visit, which included high-level engagement with senior military commanders, heads of other security agencies, and an inspection of key military infrastructure, underscores the Nigerian Air Force's readiness to respond swiftly and decisively to emerging threats in the northwest. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Asmao is in Sokoto State, which is our next stop. Hello, Asmao. It's over to you.
And thank you for joining us here in Sokoto. Sokoto State Government is collaborating with security agencies and relevant stakeholders in ensuring appropriate measures are taken for the safe return home of displaced persons in Tureta and Dengeshuni local government areas. The Deputy Governor, Idris Muhammad Gubir, gave the assurance while commiserating with people in the areas following recent bandits' attack. Dalhatu Abdullahi has details.
Recently, there had been reports of increasing bandits' attacks on villages in Tureta and Dengeshuni local government areas that forced hundreds of people to flee their homes for safety. Addressing hundreds of people, including women and children, who took refuge at the Tureta and Dengeshuni local government secretariats, the Deputy Governor of Sokoto State, Idris Muhammad Gobir, says the state government is engaging the security agencies with a view to coming up with concrete measures to restore peace in the affected areas. People are also expected to, on their part, report any suspicious character in their midst to security agencies for prompt action.
Security is a collective responsibility. We urge members of the public to actively support this effort by promptly reporting any suspicious activity or potential threat to public safety.
Tureta and the Dengeshuni Local Government Council's chairman, Aliyu Abubakar Tureta and Aminu Magaji Bodai, expressed appreciation to the government for identifying with the communities and called for establishment of security camps in Kurwa, Lambar Tureta, Samia and Dabagi, believing that doing so will help tackle the bandits' atrocities. Member representing Bodinga, Dengeshuni Tureta Federal Constituency, Nasiru Bobo, expresses gratitude to the state government for its genuine concern to the plight of the people.
The government is committed to sustaining peace across the state, and we call on all citizens to actively support the efforts of our security agencies in achieving this goal.
Food items and 10 million naira were presented to the IDPs of the affected local government areas. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Worried by rising insecurity, Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, has tasked district heads in Sokoto to work closely with security agencies and mobilize their communities to safeguard peace at the grassroots. The directive came at a meeting with all district heads at his palace in Sokoto. Abdullahi Umar Ilalu reports.
For centuries, the Sultanate of Sokoto has been a symbol of leadership and the preservation of Islamic values in Nigeria. Upholding that tradition, Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar met with dignitaries at his palace to discuss key national issues. He described insecurity as a major threat to all aspects of life, urging security agencies to step up efforts and calling on citizens to work together to ensure peace and stability. The Sultan also called for transparent collection and fair distribution of zakat so it can reach those who need it most to strengthen community support. In a related event, the Sultan received the new Emir of Gusau, Abdulkadir Ibrahim Bello, advising him to lead with unity, justice and fairness. He urged all stakeholders to support the new Emir, describing leadership as a trust. The Emir thanked the Sultan for the reception and recalled the long-standing ties between the Gusau Emirate and the Sokoto Caliphate, rooted in the legacy of Sheikh Usmanu Danfodio and Associates. From Sokoto, Abdullah Omar Ilalu, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Mina in Abuja for the continuation of the news.
Many thanks, Asmao. The Kwara State government recently approved a 6-month maternity leave with full pay for female civil servants to support nursing mothers across the state's workforce. A cross-section of residents of Ilorin who spoke with Aisha Abubakar Yahya on the development commended the governor's move, describing it as a positive step towards promoting exclusive breastfeeding, particularly in the first 6 months after childbirth.
The move to support nursing mothers in the state's workforce by extending maternity leave from 3 months to 6 months with full pay is to, among other things, give them the opportunity to carry out the mother-to-child care as required by breastfeeding rules. Once it is implemented, the policy will promote exclusive breastfeeding practices, improve maternal and infant health, and boost productivity in the civil service. Nursing mothers and stakeholders welcomed the new policy, noting that it will enable mothers to devote ample time to breastfeed their babies without the stress of work.
If you're able to do exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months, it gives you connection with your child. And thank God it also came with 6 months with pay. So it's not as if the woman is redundant.
There will be less pressure of returning to work and then putting the child that is less than 6 months in crèche or daycare.
It helps the mother to recover from the post-pregnancy trauma.
We commend the Kwara State government, especially the wife, Ambassador Olufolake Abdulrazak, for standing for women to go on this kind of leave. It will leave them, give them the strength, and when coming back to work, they will have the zeal and wherewithal to work.
While the extended maternity leave is lauded by many, it is expected that women will remain committed and dedicated to their duties, yielding productivity at work. Aisha Abubakar Yahya, NTA News.
Time now for a break. We'll be right back with more on Nationwide.
Have you heard the news? The federal government of Nigeria, through its direct benefit transfer program, has started the disbursement of 75,000 naira per household in 3 installments of 25,000, 25,000, 25,000 naira. Each recipient must have a validated national identification number, NIN, to receive the payment on behalf of their household members. To benefit, your household must be in the National Social Register of Poor and Vulnerable Households in Nigeria. The federal government's direct benefit transfer program is helping to reduce the effect of suffering while promoting financial and economic inclusion for the poor and vulnerable population in Nigeria.
Afambo Geneka, ebim nagara Dimawa village, Abuja, nazo afeba. So esom nandi register na NSR government register with my NIN. So government we use ATM card. Njiwe wete 25,000 naira 3 times. And ega haya mketa barumuru na dem. Eji megoro makamihe. Jikweru mehendozo. Thank you.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, in collaboration with the National Social Investment Programs Agency, National.
Thanks for joining us again. Rabiu Usman Films, Apelode Films, and other film industry stakeholders have joined forces for a sensitization work focused on child rights awareness. The event promotes solidarity for children's rights, highlighting the importance of a safe and supportive environment for them to thrive. Shehu Mohammed Dati reports.
and protecting from harm to the right to play and be heard. Child rights are fundamental to building a better tomorrow. The sensitization work for child rights awareness supports the forthcoming film, Machibi, which tackles child abuse and advocates for child rights in Nigeria.
It's more or less like a call, to an awareness for people to know that these things they're happening, and they should just stand up to it, and let's see how we can curb it.
There should be stiff penalties for pedophiles. There should be stiff penalties for rapists, and anybody who is abusing a child, there should be stiff penalties for them.
Nobody has told a story like this. I would not want to tell you the nitty-gritty, but I will say I implore everybody, including you, to be around for the premiere.
The peaceful, public-spirited work united filmmakers, social activists, civil society groups, and concerned citizens.
Organizations like NAPTIP, WHO, they keep releasing statistics on a yearly basis on how this is becoming a problem, right? So the idea of what we are doing here is to create a kind of system, that can go from year in, year out to see how we can take down these numbers.
I also have experienced that, and that's why I want to come out to show the world how everything happened.
The goal is to spark conversation, foster community engagement, and drive collective action to safeguard children's welfare. In Abuja, Show Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Nollywood, Nigeria's vibrant film industry, has been a cultural and economic powerhouse in Africa for decades, producing over 2,500 films annually and contributing significantly to the country's GDP. Gofan Saji Ugwany reports that with its unique storytelling style, Nollywood has captivated audiences globally, showcasing Nigeria's rich cultural heritage and diverse perspectives. The national president of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, Ejezie Emeka Rollers, says the second UK Nollywood Roundtable will bring together actors, filmmakers, and cultural advocates to explore the theme, language, accent, and audience, balancing global reach with audience integrity.
Explore how language and accent influence audience, connection, cultural identity, and international market accessibility. Key topics include celebrating linguistic diversity while aligning with global standards, subtitling and dubbing for inclusivity, how neutral accents, though sometimes necessary, may dilute cultural essence.
The roundtable's focus on balancing global appeal with cultural integrity will help Nollywood filmmakers navigate the complexities of producing content that resonates with both local and international audiences. Senator Chris Ingigay, a former governor of Anambra State, has paid tribute to the late Chief Audu Ogbe, describing him as a patriot, statesman, and intellectual with great integrity and vision. Ingigay, who served alongside Ogbe in various capacities, including as ministers under President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, recalled their long-standing friendship and Ogbe's significant contributions to Nigerian politics and agriculture. He praised Ogbe's leadership, particularly during his tenure as Minister of Agriculture, where he introduced the Anchor Borrowers Program, boosting rice and other crop production. Ingigay extended his condolences to Ogbe's family, praying for God's comfort and peace during this difficult time. Sports Update is next with Suleiman Musa.
Karu, Gwagwalada, Like Minds All-Stars, and Apo Fitness Club complete the quarter-final teams of the All-Stars Invitational Football Tournament played Saturday at the main bowl of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. With the round of 16 now concluded, the battle line is now drawn as All-Stars New Karu slog it out with Lukbe All-Stars. USF takes on defending champions ex-Professional FC as Karu All-Stars lock horns with Like Minds All-Stars Kuji, with the last game between Gwagwalada All-Stars versus Apo Fitness Club.
As an explicit defender,
I know how to tackle inside my 18 and that's how they're 18. We beat them before, we beat them again. No one will stop us again to carry this tournament. This is our third time to come in this tournament. We must win this cup.
We have a lot of injury down and during the match. Almost 3 of our players, key players, was out of the game due to the injury.
These are our debutants in this tournament, so it's a new team altogether, not up to 4 months, but yet we still pulled out something great.
Elsewhere, Nigerian champions, Remo Stars, will begin their 2025-2026 CAF Champions League campaign against a familiar pairing for Nigerian clubs, US Limajo of Comoros in the preliminary round. While Remo Stars know their part, fellow Nigerian representatives, Rivers United, must wait for the conclusion of DR Congo's Linafoot League to know their opponents. Meanwhile, in the CAF Confederation Cup, the age-old Nigerian-Ghana football rivalry will be reignited as Asante Kotoko hosts Kwara United in the first leg, with Abia Warriors trading tackles with Malian side Joliba Athletic Club in the first preliminary round of matches. And finally, Emaradu Kano brush aside Olga Danilovic at the Cincinnati Open to make a confident start with her new coach. The British #1 has added Rafael Nadal's former coach, Francis Rugg, to her team on a full-time basis as she prepares for the upcoming US Open. With Sport Update, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
And that's Nationwide. Thanks for your company. I am Mina Daniels. Beautiful week ahead.